Hail, Internet! It's Paul. It's Matt, the Dork Lords. Today, we're talking about the third episode of the new HBO series, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the episode entitled The Squire. We open with Egg waking up early to train with the horse Thunder for the upcoming joust. Egg is understandably concerned that his inexperience and lack of size will cost Duncan in the tournament. What follows is a pretty fun scene of Egg and Thunder bonding. Just FYI, I did not have quite that kind of a bond with Taffy. She was not of the galloping type, per se. But if I called her, she'd walk over, and then she'd play with the zipper on my jacket. That's kind of like that was our level of bonding. But anyway, okay. So the training is interrupted by the appearance of a one-eyed knight named Sir Robin Riceling, who apparently jousted with his eye hanging out of its socket, Paul.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That is some top-tier pain tolerance. But
Yeah.
Egg recognizes him and convinces him that Thunder is not a stolen horse, and Robin departs, and I'm sure we'll never see him again. We end with the jerk Targaryen prince Arion becoming enraged by Tansel's puppet show depicting a dragon being slain, seeing it as anti-Targaryen propaganda, essentially. And so he breaks Tansel's fingers. Egg runs to get Dunk, who defends Tansel by beating up Arion. As Arion orders Dunk to be tortured, Egg countermands Arion's orders, revealing himself to be Arion's younger brother, Aegon Targaryen. Dunk, if not the audience, is shocked by this revelation. Credits. All that said, Paul.
Man.
What'd you think of episode 3?
So yeah, of course it was very enjoyable. They really built up that moment. I was telling someone today that it reminded me of, I know you watched Lost.
I did.
Right. So for all you people who didn't watch Lost, too bad. Because
spoiler,
it reminded me of when Hurley, they had the episode where they showed him winning the lottery.
Right.
And so he was hanging out with his friend and not talking about how he just won millions of dollars. And then at the end, everyone descends upon him, and his friend finally says, oh my gosh, just sort of, as Hurley's being surrounded by all these people, he's shocked and hurt that his best friend wouldn't tell him that he just won millions of dollars and his life has changed.
Got you. Dunk is the friend in this scenario.
Yes, Egg is Hurley.
Egg is Hurley.
Now you see it, right? It's like
I do.
They're like separated at birth.
Egg has these unlucky numbers that he won't. Yeah, I got it. One note. I saw this right before we logged on here.
Okay.
The next episode 4, is apparently going to be released on Friday, February 6th, due to Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, of course, yes.
Next episode coming out early.
Oh, yeah. We love when that happens.
That's right. It's awesome to get everything out in time. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, the horse training scene, it was kind of reminiscent to me. You remember that movie? Maybe it was it could have been from the late 70s even. But it was based on a book, The Black Stallion. It was like a boy and his horse, anyway. But it kind of reminded me of that. Okay. Or the Narnia book, The Horse and His Boy. Okay, anyway. But no, it was fun. So, and then speaking of horses, Arion cheats at the joust and mortally wounds a horse. So he crossed the line, Paul. He can kill all the people he wants. Kill a horse. Yeah, you're done. You can kill him now. Goodbye, Arion.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's certainly, he's in the tradition of other terrible Targaryens.
Right.
It's interesting because I know a number of people who've read the books, particularly liked the actor who plays Arion, his performance. And one thing that even the actor, I heard him sort of make note of, it was like he did have a sort of curiosity about why would you throw your life away. He was actually kind of like, boy, why would you do this? But it's like if he was making an equation, it'd be like, okay, you're losing your life for a whore. Why? It's like, wait, some of the parts of your equation may need to be changed. It's like,
I mean, I suppose in a way it's a more sinister version of what we saw in the previous episode where Duncan, is telling Egg, or Egg's like, oh, people underestimate me because I'm puny. And Duncan says, well, people always told me I was stupid.
Yeah.
And
I mean, and thankfully this the show and the I assume the books, since people are saying it's a faithful interpretation, it's making you question, like, okay, yes, is he slow-witted, or it's exactly what is the nature of, some people might say it's innocence, or lack of
is he just
education,
naive,
or naive, right? But his desire to do good is really strong, and so maybe it's a more nuanced story is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Yeah, and we do see him getting these moments, I suppose to prove his chivalry in a way. Here he's attacking Arion, who's breaking Tansel's fingers literally, but you also get this moment where we see Plumber is the guy's name, the steward of the Ashfords, who's running the tournament. He approaches Duncan with a bribe.
Oh, yes.
So if Duncan challenges Lord Ashford's son, Sir Andrew, Andrew will throw the fight, allowing Duncan to win.
Right.
And then the Ashfords will win big by betting against the heavily favored Andrew.
Yeah.
And so in some ways, I mean, I kind of like this as this test of his honor because it's kind of a legit test. Like if they were asking him to throw the fight, you'd be like, "What? No, I'll never." But this is kind of you could rationalize this if you really wanted to, right? You're like, "No, I mean they're not asking me to throw the joust. I could have won it anyway, fair and square." And then this victory will give me the cred I need because I'm not simply a hedge knight, and I'll get a new horse and all. I mean, you could, if you wanted to rationalize it, you could, and he is not of that sort. We haven't seen him officially say no, but he's going to say no. And so it's interesting. But I did bring up this idea. You tell me, did the Ashfords even need to bring Duncan into the fix? Like, maybe there's a rule I'm not familiar with, but couldn't the Ashfords just have Andrew challenge Duncan and then take a fall? And then Duncan doesn't even have to know. Like, it'd be one less person in on the secret. I don't know why they need Duncan to be like, here, you challenge him, and then you just do what you do, and then we'll just fall down and you win. You could do all that without telling him that you're doing that.
I suppose. I mean, I guess what they, I think you're assuming that, and maybe you're right, that only Arion is do something really crappy that would get your leg screwed up. Everybody else would play by the rules, and you could count on just, taking a fall. Now, I believe that I heard from somebody that that was not in the books. So that whole plan to have him, that test of his, but everybody seems to be fine with it. But it's another interesting thing. It's sort of like I was thinking as we were talking, that his whole simplicity and desire to be good, it's difficult for him to develop since he doesn't have any instruction that would develop him intellectually. And really, it's so scarce to have that moral instruction, good moral instruction, which, that's what they're really saying, is that's the part that that it was great for him, that really, he really took to. Even though he's not smart, even Egg sort of, clearly he was well educated, but in his family there's not a lot of people that are actually good.
Right.
So I think it's importance of this
ethics,
sort of like knights and how they are, and I think Egg definitely has that reverence towards knights. Because even though he was noticed the mad knight, you can tell he was also in awe.
Correct. Just like Duncan is, right? He's still
Yeah.
in this mode of, oh, I don't, these are my betters. Like I'm
Right,
trying
right, right,
to,
right. Yes.
ascend to this.
Yeah. So that's why, it's really important what they're establishing about his character.
Now, there's an interesting, I think it fits in, although I'm not sure how this fits into this idea, but I feel like there was a theme that was run through when we had another shot of Lionel, and they're doing the big drunken bar song about Alice Three Fingers, prostitute who had a real knack with those fingers. Let's just say that. And I'll also say, interestingly, Tansel breaks her fingers in this episode. So I don't know if
Yes.
that's somehow a connection there, a callback.
Yeah, one thing I heard discussed is, that's certainly not a very nice thing to do to a puppeteer.
No, exactly. That was why he did it, right? He was like,
Right.
okay, you're never gonna be a puppeteer again.
Presumably, yeah. Except, I feel like whenever we've seen her, she's just been standing around puppeteers.
True. Could you? She's not that kind of puppeteer.
She doesn't, actually do too much
not
puppeteering.
marionettes. But what kind of strangely elevates that scene a little bit is Egg lamenting the fact that someone who's so skilled at their craft, as in the case Alice, that she's sung about worldwide, yet her name probably wasn't Alice, and that the real three-fingered Alice has been forgotten. He has this kind of they talk about that, and that only this fictionalized story remains.
Right.
And to me, that kind of echoes a little bit of last episode, in which Duncan is lamenting that Sir Arlen is all but forgotten. All the trappings of Arlen are being forgotten, and he's scared that he's going to pass into obscurity as well. I don't know exactly how those things meld, but it feels like that's of a theme. I'm just not sure. Anyway, but it was just interesting that they were like, yeah, that's actually, Alice isn't even her name.
Right.
And the actual person is gone to history. There's just this weird song now that people sing, but no one actually.
Yeah, it's certainly
knows that
worth. I've watched it a couple of times, but it'd be worth listening to that part again to see exactly what Aegon is getting out of it. Because it's sort of with hope or whatever. I think he was drawing inspiration from what it represented anyway.
Maybe he was, from Duncan's angle, he obviously, from the last episode, he's worried about passing into obscurity. Maybe for Egg, it's more about, the real, he's maybe worried about the legacy of the Targaryens, maybe. So in other words, the only thing that people will remember are the legends about how terrible we are. They won't know the real people. Like me, I'm not terrible, right? I'm just Egg. I don't know. Maybe that's I'm not sure. Anyway, if you out there in internet land have an idea of what that scene means.
There's many things to think about that. I mean, you could certainly say that the fact that his family is so important and has important jobs, the fact that he would think about, he was talking about the kind of life that he would live being a squire anyway, that he would gain notoriety from how well he's helped Dunk.
And even asked, like, hey, can I be your squire full time after this?
Right. So. But he would, his lord would, provide him with land, and he would get the second most beautiful woman or whatever, or daughter. Right. And of course, Dunk would get the most beautiful, so.
Yeah, he was willing to commit to this idea, it sounds like.
Yeah. But anyway, so maybe that's what he's thinking about in terms of what's the height that he could achieve not being in his family, being a
Great
squire.
point.
What's the height that he could possibly achieve? And it's in that same scene where he says, I could be happy here. And he's like, well, you are here.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And it's like, well, if he stayed for a while. But he's really starting to say, like, because it wasn't all that recent with the events of his family that made him leave in the first place.
Right. But I'm wondering if thinking about the Alice Three Fingers and the whole hope idea and all that. Does that come after he gets the fortune? I can't remember where that falls in the frame of things, but he gets this fortune teller comes up and basically foretells his future.
Yes, true.
And says, "Hey, you're going to be a king.
Yeah,
you're going to die in a fire, and people will rejoice your death." And it's like, Dunk laughs it off because he's like, "What are you talking about? Eggs
I feel like it's before that because I feel like he gets the prophecy or whatever, and then the next thing is the guy comes to say, "Hey, let's go get a drink."
Right. Okay, you're right. I was just wondering if that led into that scene, but it didn't. You're right. We do see that Egg has no love for that older brother at all.
Oh yeah, no.
Kill him. That's a sign. Maybe you don't like your brother.
Yeah.
Now he's making a big ask of Duncan when he goes to say, "Hey, by the way, Arion is hurting Tansel because he's got to know that no matter what happens, let's say Duncan goes in and successfully kills Arion, or he's going to probably be tortured and or executed."
But that would be the best for Egg, right? Because then he could say, "Oh, he's dead now, so there's no one to stop me from saying, 'Stop! Do not hurt this man who just killed my brother.'"
Right. Good.
Partly because that makes me happy, but the other reason is because this is my friend.
Right. So anyway, it's just interesting. There's different ways you could look at the motivations for why he goes to get Dunk. Maybe it's just as simple as, "Hey, my brother's hurting someone. I need somebody to help me," but I don't know.
Yeah, because, he didn't have time to think it through,
Right.
It's his duty, he knows that Dunk really likes her because he's teasing him about it half the time. So he knew that he would want to know, and, if you had asked him after he had his teeth knocked out and before they killed him, he probably would have gummed that it was it was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing to do. And in fact, as he's about to get gummed, he's telling Egg to get out. Like, "What are you doing here? Get out of here."
Yeah. So even
let me get gummed.
He's doing the honorable thing.
Right. And the camaraderie between them, and there's a lot of conversation scenes between them in this, and it's fun the dialogue works. The actors do a great job of expressing that relationship. So
I'm making me really curious for other work that Peter Claffey has done, because it's really, obviously the script and the original book, I've read it, but it's all, the materials very deep, and he's portraying the character as is, but it's just an incredible performance.
Yeah, and they invent the breakfast sandwich. There you go.
Yes.
Gonna open up a Dunkin' Donuts, Paul. There you go.
I'm gonna be looking at Whole Foods for goose eggs. Those are some really big old eggs.
It's a good sandwich. So from the trailer for the next episode, for episode 4, and from the title, which is 7, we're gonna set up this trial of the 7 idea, where Duncan's gonna get accused of assaulting Arion, and then there's gonna be this trial by combat thing going on. But I have a feeling the actual combat won't happen until episode 5. I could be wrong, but you got to gather you got to go find 6 other knights that are willing to fight for you.
Sure, of course.
And in fact, if you can't, you lose, and that's maybe why the trial by 7 is something that's called on. And they're like, no way, Duncan's gonna find 6 guys to come fight with him. So this way, he'll automatically lose. Anyway, that's probably where I'm guessing the arc of episode 4 is. Can he get a team? Can he get the team together? You son of a bitch! I'm in. I'm putting together a team. So we'll just see if maybe that's where that ends, especially because the episodes are a little shorter.
Sure.
And then maybe episode 5 is devoted to the actual
contest
duel.
or whatever.
Yeah. So remember, everybody, episode 4 will drop early due to the Super Bowl. So check that out. And we will be back talking about that episode. Thank you, as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir.
No problem.
And we'll talk to everybody next time. Bye!